The Amazon isn't just a forest, it's a living, breathing giant that creates its own sky. What if I told you this place makes its own rain? That dust from the Sahara Desert, 7,000 kilometers away, travels across the Atlantic just to feed it. Every year, 22 million tons of nutrient-rich dust fall here, carrying phosphorus that keeps these ancient trees alive. Most people look at the Amazon and see trees, endless green, but today we go deeper, to the side almost no one gets to feel, the hidden heartbeat, the secret life, the world that exists whether we watch or not. This is not a list of animals or a checklist of facts. This is an experience, a journey into the lungs of our planet, where every breath the forest takes, the whole world breathes with it. Here, water doesn't just flow, it rules everything. The Amazon River is no ordinary river. Stretching over 6,800 kilometers, it carries more water than the next 7 largest rivers on Earth combined. 1/5 of all the planet's fresh water flows through this single system and empties into the Atlantic. When it rains here, the rivers don't just rise, they breathe with the seasons. During the wet season, water levels can climb more than 10 meters. Entire forests disappear underwater for months at a time. What was once solid ground becomes a flooded world called Igapo, a submerged forest where trees grow special roots that can actually breathe oxygen straight from the water. This is where the jungle turns into an underwater kingdom. Pink river dolphins, the boto, hunt in perfect silence among the flooded trees. They use echolocation to navigate a maze no human eye can see. Giant arapaima, some longer than a grown man, gulp air at the surface before diving back into the flooded canopy. And everywhere, life explodes in ways science is still struggling to understand. The rivers are the blood of the Amazon. They connect everything, from the tiniest insect to the tallest emergent tree. Without them, this entire world would simply cease to exist. But the most incredible part, the forest gives back to the sky. Trees here pump out billions of tons of water vapor every single day through their leaves. This moisture rises and forms what scientists call flying rivers, massive atmospheric currents that carry rain hundreds of kilometers south, feeding farms and cities across South America. The Amazon doesn't just receive rain, it creates it. It is a self-sustaining miracle, a giant that literally makes its own weather. And yet, most of us will never set foot here. Most of us will never feel the humidity on our skin, hear the dawn chorus explode at 5 a.m., or watch a river dolphin break the surface right beside our boat. But for the next 50 minutes, you will. You're about to feel what it's like to stand in the heart of the living planet. Climb just 40 meters and the world completely changes. Up here is another planet. The canopy is a separate universe. a sun-drenched, wind-swept kingdom that most people on Earth will never know exists. One single hectare of this canopy can hold more different species of trees than the entire continent of Europe, and every tree is a high-rise apartment building for life. Orchids and bromeliads cling to branches, turning them into miniature hanging gardens. Vines thicker than a man's arm stretch from tree to tree like living bridges. This is where the Amazon shows its true colors, literally. Bright red, blue, and yellow flowers bloom only up here, visible only to the creatures that live in the sky. Life here is everywhere, and it's loud. Listen, that distant roar rolling across the canopy like thunder. That's the howler monkey, the loudest land animal on Earth. Their call can be heard from 5 kilometers away. It's not anger, it's a message, a warning, a conversation that echoes through the green ocean above the forest floor. A single troop of spider monkeys can swing through the treetops at speeds most humans can't run, using their tails like a 5th limb. Sloths, nature's slowest creatures, move so deliberately they grow algae in their fur, turning them the same color as the leaves that hide them. And then there are the tiny masters of disguise. A poison dart frog no bigger than your thumbnail carries enough toxin in its skin to kill 10 grown men. Yet it lives peacefully among the leaves, its bright colors warning everything else to stay away. Glass frogs are so transparent you can see their hearts beating through their bellies. Stick insects look exactly like the twigs they rest on. And the morpho butterfly, when it opens its wings, the flash of metallic blue is so intense it can confuse predators from 20 meters away. This is biodiversity at its absolute peak. Scientists still discover new species here every single week. Some insects have never even been named. Some frogs have chemicals in their skin that could one day become the next miracle medicine. The canopy is the lungs of the lungs. Every leaf here is pulling carbon dioxide from the air and pumping out oxygen. But more than that, the canopy is the control center for the entire ecosystem. It captures sunlight, stores water, and sends messages through the air and through the roots below in ways we're only beginning to understand. The trees talk to each other. When one is attacked by insects, it releases chemicals into the air that warn its neighbors. The neighboring trees then produce bitter compounds in their leaves to protect themselves. A chemical internet running silently through the sky. This is the Amazon most people will never climb into. But right now, you're floating through it. You're hearing the howlers. You're watching the morpho flash. You're standing in the living roof of our planet. But the Amazon is not empty wilderness. It has never been. For more than 12,000 years, this forest has been home to hundreds of nations, of people who do not just live here, they belong to it. Today, more than 400 distinct indigenous groups still call the Amazon home. Some live in villages along the rivers. Others choose to remain deep in the untouched interior, far from any road or outsider. They speak languages the outside world has never fully understood. They follow knowledge passed down through countless generations. Knowledge that sees the forest not as a resource, but as family. A single community may know the name and use of over 200 different medicinal plants. They can read the river like a book, when the fish will run, when the fruits will ripen, when the waters will rise. This is not superstition. This is science older than any university. One of their greatest gifts to the world is something almost invisible until you touch it. Deep in the jungle, scientists discovered patches of soil so rich and fertile they should not exist. The indigenous peoples call it terra preta, black earth. More than 2,000 years ago, they mixed charcoal, pottery shards, fish bones, and organic waste into the naturally poor jungle soil. The result? Soil that still remains incredibly fertile today. One patch can support gardens for centuries without ever needing fertilizer. This is not ancient history. Some communities still maintain and create these soils today. They turned the poorest land on Earth into one of the richest, a living legacy that proves humans and the jungle can live together in perfect balance. The forest gives them medicine. Plants that reduce fever, heal wounds, calm the mind. Some communities still practice traditional healing ceremonies passed down for millennia. They understand that every plant has a spirit, a purpose, and they approach it with deep respect. Children grow up learning the jungle the same way city children learn streets. They learn which vines hold fresh water, which frogs carry poison, which trees will tell you a storm is coming. This knowledge is not written in books. It lives in stories told around night fires. It lives in songs. It lives in the way they walk through the forest without leaving a single broken branch behind. And today, many of these nations are on the front lines of protecting the Amazon itself. They patrol vast territories, stopping illegal loggers and miners. They use both traditional knowledge and modern tools, drones, GPS, satellite phones, to guard the forest they have always called home. They are not relics of the past. They are the living guardians of the future. This is the Amazon most outsiders will never truly know, a place where humans and nature have never been separate, where the forest raised the people and the people protect the forest. For thousands of years they have whispered to the trees, and the trees have whispered back. But the Amazon doesn't just whisper through its people. Sometimes it puts on a show. Every single morning, just after first light, the sky explodes with color. Hundreds, sometimes thousands, of scarlet macaws descend on these special riverbank walls. They are not here to feed on fruit or seeds. They have come for the clay. These parrots eat toxic fruits and seeds all day long. The poisons build up in their bodies, so once a day they gather at these clay licks and eat the mineral-rich earth. The clay binds the toxins and protects them. It is nature's own pharmacy, precise, elegant, and beautiful beyond words. Watch them land in waves of red and blue and gold. Listen to the deafening chatter and squawks as they jostle for the best spots. For a few precious minutes, the entire riverbank becomes a living painting that moves and breathes. Then, as suddenly as they arrived, they rise back into the sky like a single colorful cloud and disappear into the canopy. But the spectacles don't end at the clay walls. Out on the quieter rivers live the giant otters, the wolves of the Amazon waterways. Up to 2 meters long, these social predators hunt in tight-knit family groups. Their calls echo across the water like excited laughter mixed with warning. They work together with military precision, herding schools of fish into tight balls before striking. A single family can eat 9 kilograms of fish in one day, yet they are also fiercely protective parents, teaching their young every skill they will need to survive in this ever-changing world. In a place this wild, even the top predators show tenderness. Deeper in the shadows moves the tapir, a living relic from another age. Looking like a strange mix of pig and elephant, these gentle giants wander the forest floor at night, eating fruits and leaves, unknowingly planting the next generation of trees through their dung. In the rivers, Arapaima, the largest freshwater fish in South America, launch their entire bodies out of the water to gulp air, their silver scales catching the light like living armor. Some grow longer than a grown man and can weigh over 200 kilograms. And somewhere in the thick undergrowth, silent as a ghost, the jaguar pads through the night. Its rosette-covered coat makes it almost invisible. One set of fresh tracks in the mud tells you the king of the Amazon passed this way only hours ago. You may never see it, but you will always feel it. This is the Amazon's daily theater. No tickets. No schedule, just pure, unscripted life happening in perfect balance. Every creature playing its role in a show that has run for millions of years. The clay licks feed the parrots. The otters keep the fish populations healthy. The tapirs plant the forest. The jaguar keeps everything in check. Nothing is wasted, nothing is unnecessary. It is a living masterpiece. These are the moments most people will never witness. The sky full of living jewels, the river alive with giants, the forest floor holding ancient secrets. But right now, you are standing on the riverbank. You are watching the macaws descend. You are hearing the otters call. You are feeling the heartbeat of the greatest wildlife show on Earth. The Amazon is strong, but it is not invincible. It has survived for millions of years, yet right now it faces pressures unlike any in its long history. In some places, the forest is shrinking. Roads push in. Small farms appear where giant trees once stood. Scientists measure the change every year, and the numbers tell a difficult truth. Every minute, an area the size of several football fields disappears. But here is what most people never see. The jungle fights back. Where trees are cut, new life rises incredibly fast. Seeds that have waited in the soil for years suddenly sprout. Within months, young forest returns. Within decades, it can feel wild again. The Amazon is one of the fastest healing ecosystems on Earth when given the chance. And the people who know her best are leading the way. Indigenous communities, scientists, and local guardians are working together, planting millions of trees, creating protected corridors, using technology to monitor every corner. The same knowledge that created Terra Preta centuries ago is now helping restore what was lost. The Amazon still holds secrets that could change the world. Undiscovered medicines in the leaves of plants we haven't even named yet. New ways to store carbon. Lessons in how humans and nature can live together without destruction. It regulates global climate. It generates rain for entire continents. It is the lungs of our planet, and we are only now fully understanding how deeply we all depend on its breath. The good news? More people than ever are listening. More protections are being created. More voices from the forest are being heard. the Amazon is not a lost cause. It is a living hope. This is the Amazon most people will never feel with their own hands. The breathing giant that makes its own rain. The underwater forests where dolphins dance. The canopy orchestra that sings across kilometers. The ancient knowledge carried by those who call it home. The daily spectacle of color and life that never stops. You have climbed into the canopy. You have listened to the howlers and watched the macaws descend like living fire. You have stood with the guardians who have protected this place for 12,000 years. And now you carry a piece of it with you. Remember her. Protect her. Because when the Amazon breathes, the whole world breathes with her.